What's going on, guys? And today we're going to be talking about the Charlotte Hornets coaching candidates. And shout out to Adrian Wojnarowski for the start of this video. The Hornets, he put out a tweet saying the Hornets have secured permission to interview Denver's David Adelman, Sacramento's Jordi Fernandez, aka the man who could be a doctor, and I'm talking PhD, not actual saving lives doctor. Bucknell great Charles Lee, who I expect to be head coach. You guys know that Jeff Peterson and basically this entire Hawks front office is a former Hawks, or like literally, because the Hawks minority owner bought the team and he brought all his boys from before the Travis Schleck era, so back like the guys from the Mike Budenholzer. So that's why and Charles Lee was part of the Mike Budenholzer era. Now, Kevin Young is there as well, and Adrian Wojnarowski says there's expected to be more candidates. So what do you bring with each candidate? Jordi Fernandez is the lead assistant for the Sacramento Kings. He almost landed a few jobs. He almost landed the Toronto job. He's the national team coach for Canada. He helped them go on that run this year. Then Kevin Young's been called a wonderkin. People are really excited about him, and supposedly Devin Booker credits him a lot for his development of his game, and a lot of people really enjoy having him be a part of their team. But David Adelman's a younger guy, so David is 42 years old, and he is one of the lead assistants on Michael Malone's staff, and he's been another guy who's kind of been called wonderkin, as he's the son of Rick Adelman, who was a coach for 23 years. So obviously, legacy-wise. But I wanted to bring up, again, I still think Charles Lee, being the guy who followed Mr. Budenholzer across the United States, I think is going to be a guy that definitely could benefit from going ahead, and I think he's going to be the guy personally. But if we look at the rest of this, and the rest of the guys that don't want to be in the league. So I wanted to put together right here real quickly, when we look back to some of the Hawks organization in terms of, so Mr. Jeff Peterson has been there was there from 2014 to 2019. So if we look at the 2014 Hawks, and we go forward in terms of who were their assistants, and looking at guys that he's had relationships with, we can kind of gauge who potentially could be the coach. So Kenny Atkinson, Darvin Ham, Taylor Jenkins, Charles Lee, Ben Sullivan, Mike Budenholzer. I don't think any of those guys are going to be coach. I mean, maybe Mike Budenholzer could come out of nowhere, which would be wild. All right, absolutely wild. I just think because Charles Lee was there for so long, it just makes sense for that one to be. But when the staffs did change, which was, I believe, going into I know Chris Gent was there, Chris Gent's now a Lakers coach, and he could be another guy. Again, he's a guy that seems like people really like. But when Lloyd Pierce took over, he had Marlon Garnett, who is actually an assistant coach with Charlotte, and he joined Charlotte, if you guys didn't know, 2 years after. So maybe, I don't know if he'll be someone who gets consideration. Melvin Hunt was also in the building, and Greg Foster. I don't think any of those guys are going to get consideration, nor do I think Lloyd Pierce will get the consideration. Maybe he doesn't, he gets a second opportunity, but the NBA doesn't really do second opportunities. And after that, I mean, Chris Gent was on the coaching staff for a while, so I would not be surprised if Chris Gent ends up getting an opportunity there. And when we look over, he left at 2019, so he wasn't there for Nate McMillan. But I do believe if there was another player that we're looking, or coach to look at, I think Chris Gent's the other guy, who was a champion in '94 with the Houston Rockets. He was actually a undrafted guard out of Ohio State, and he's been an NBA coach for forever. Been a G League coach, but never an NBA coach. So that's basically going to be my thoughts on the whole Charlotte Hornets coaching search. Let me hear your guys' opinions, but yeah, that'll be it for me. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I'm like, peace out. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.